I was drunk when I met him. I was drunk when I married him. And I was drunk when I left him. That just didn't work.
People allowed you to suffer in silence. They have allowed you, supported you, encouraged you, expected you to keep your mouth shut unless it was a benefit to them. I ain't on that committee.
AndriaJohnson. Just confirm what we thought all along. For years, people have been guessing about what goes on behind the scenes with this powerful gospel singer.
Tell me about this.
It's a mimosa?
In the morning.
Well, 11, yeah.
What would be over here with the 3 Long Islands?
3 p.m.
3 p.m.
I'm functioning. I'm not falling over, slurring, all that. I'm
spoken like a true alcoholic.
Fans have noticed her struggles and her moments of success. But what's the real story? Did she reveal more than anyone expected? Let's explore what she shared and what it means for her journey.
Well, I've been singing since I was 2, and I grew up in a Pentecostal church, apostolic background. And
AndriaJohnson was born on January 23, 1983, in Palatka, Florida. She came from a religious and musical family. Her father, Bishop Gregory Johnson, and her mother, Pastor Sharon Johnson, were both leaders in their church, HQ Ministries, based in Altamonte Springs. Leandria was surrounded by music and faith from a very young age. She started singing in church when she was just 2 years old, finding her voice in a place where faith and family meant everything.
My parents, listened to only gospel music. And at the time, it was the Hawkins and the Clark sisters, the Winans. My mother played the Winans while I was on the inside of her.
As she grew up, Leandria became more involved in the church, eventually taking on the role of a praise and worship leader. For her, singing was not just something she did, it was part of who she was. Leading worship helped her connect deeply to her beliefs, and her voice became a powerful tool for sharing messages of hope and strength. Her early life was all about learning to use her talent for something greater, which became the foundation for her career later on.
Always had the desire to sing and never knew that's what I really wanted to do until the age of 14.
However, Leandria's journey wasn't always easy. Her talent was obvious, but life threw her many challenges. By the time she became an adult, she was a performer and a singer-songwriter, trying to balance her passion for music with the tough realities of life.
20 years old when I first got married. Still a baby.
Though she was gifted, she faced many personal struggles. She was already a mother of 3 and had gone through 2 divorces. On top of that, she had serious financial issues. Just before her big break, she lost her home to foreclosure, leaving her with little to no resources.
That didn't work out. What did I learn from my first marriage? To be honest, not to do it again. I was young.
When Leandria heard about auditions for the gospel singing show Sunday Best, she saw it as a chance to turn her life around. But it wasn't easy to get there. She had to rely on her family and friends, who supported her during this difficult time. With their help, she made it to the audition, though she only had the clothes she was wearing and a pair of flip-flops. Her appearance was simple, even rough. She wore socks with her flip-flops and clothes from the day before, far from the polished look expected at a televised audition. 2 of the judges, Erica and Tina Campbell from the gospel duo Mary Mary, were concerned about her appearance. Erica openly expressed her doubts, thinking she might not be ready for the big stage. But when Leandria began to sing, "This is the day the Lord hath made," she silenced all doubts. Her powerful voice, full of emotion and faith, moved the judges immediately. Her singing wasn't just impressive, it was full of raw honesty and strength. She won the judges over and earned a spot in the competition, not just because of her voice, but because of the depth of feeling she brought to each performance. In the 8th episode of Sunday Best, a gospel singing competition, AndriaJohnson shared a powerful and emotional story. She revealed that, at one point, she had felt so overwhelmed by her personal struggles that she thought about giving up on life. She described a time when everything seemed too hard and she didn't know how to move forward. But it was in that darkest moment that she felt God's presence, holding her up and giving her strength. This experience became a turning point for her, helping her decide to perform the song "In the Midst of It All" during the 4th episode of the season. As the competition continued, Leandria's performances touched the hearts of the judges and the audience. Her voice wasn't just beautiful, it was filled with deep emotion. She poured her feelings into each song, making every performance unique and memorable. Leandria had an incredible vocal range, and she could hit high notes with power and grace. But despite her amazing talent, she still faced challenges. She had moments of self-doubt and fear, wondering if she was good enough. The pressure of the competition, along with her personal struggles, made her journey even harder. However, her strong faith and determination helped her push forward. Instead of letting her pain hold her back, she used it to make her performances even more powerful. In the final round of Sunday Best, Leandria went head-to-head with Elder Goldwire McClendon, a talented and respected singer. Both contestants delivered unforgettable performances, and Leandria performed songs like I Love the Lord and In the Midst of It All. On June 20th, 2010, she was announced as the winner of Sunday Best. This was a life-changing moment for her, marking the end of an incredible journey on the show. Her victory brought her national recognition, a recording contract, a new Ford Taurus, and a cash prize.
God's gonna open up the whole world for you, and souls are gonna be saved.
Winning Sunday Best opened many doors for Leandria. She now had a national platform, and more people knew her name. But with fame also came new challenges. Life in the spotlight wasn't always easy. The struggles she had faced before didn't just disappear. They became harder to handle because she was now a public figure. In the past, churches had a way of handling leaders and singers who struggled openly with personal issues or mistakes. They were sat down or temporarily removed from their roles so they could take time to heal and find support. For Leandria, this approach might have been helpful, but today's churches often have different priorities. Many churches now seem more focused on talent and popularity than on the personal well-being of their members, especially if they are talented.
She's hit rock bottom. She's not recording new music officially. She drinks a little, well, drinks a lot. She's a alcoholic.
AndriaJohnson struggles publicly with alcohol addiction, which has sometimes spiraled out of control. Instead of receiving support to address her addiction, it seems that some people in the church used her talent to fill seats and entertain audiences, despite her personal struggles. On the TV show Iyanla Fixed My Life, hosted by Iyanla Vanzan, Johnson opened up about her addiction. She shared how her drinking affected her life, describing times when she would have mimosas in the morning and even stronger drinks by the afternoon. She freely admitted her struggles, yet no one seemed to be there to help her, and her behavior began to attract attention for the wrong reasons. Her drinking problem was so severe that she was arrested for drunk driving, which eventually led her to make serious changes in her life. She was ordered by the court to wear an ankle monitor and spent 30 days in jail, which helped her stop drinking. She earned the nickname the Bad Girl of Gospel due to her drinking, her harsh criticism of church leaders, and her sometimes offensive language.
I've been labeled the bad girl of gospel because I was seen drinking.
The last thing that I did that would be controversial to the church was be in my house on Periscope.
Eventually, some church leaders and festivals canceled her appearances, but by then, her image was already damaged. Johnson made headlines again when she did a drunken live stream where she openly criticized well-known pastor Bishop Marvin Winans and expressed frustration with the church. This led the Essence Festival to remove her from their lineup, but she was still getting bookings from other churches and events. It seemed that some churches were more interested in having a famous singer perform than in helping her overcome her challenges.
Tell me about this.
It's a mimosa?
In the morning.
Around 11, yeah.
What would be over here with the 3 Long Islands?
3 p.m.
3 p.m.
I'm functioning. I'm not falling over, slurring, all that. I'm
spoken.
Iyanla Vanzan confronted Johnson's record label manager, Phil Thornton, about this on her show. Thornton, who had worked with Johnson for years, admitted that he sometimes stayed quiet about her issues because he didn't want to interfere with his professional relationship with her. He gave her 90 days to turn her life around or risk being dropped from the label, but many felt that it should not have taken so long for someone to set firm boundaries with her. Johnson's booking agent, Brandon, who describes himself as her big brother, was also put in the spotlight. Van Zandt told him that, by keeping her problems under wraps, he was only allowing her struggles to continue. She explained that people close to her should be telling her to get the help she needs, rather than hiding the truth to avoid hurting her career. Van Zandt's conversation with Johnson, her manager, and her booking agent highlighted how the church's focus on fame can sometimes lead to neglecting real support. While Johnson is responsible for her actions, the people around her, especially those benefiting financially, also bear some responsibility for not stepping in earlier. They could have encouraged her to focus on healing instead of performing. Sometimes taking a break from the spotlight is necessary to heal. Johnson might have benefited from the old practice of being sat down, where she could have taken time away to address her addiction and focus on her well-being. AndriaJohnson isn't your typical gospel singer. After her rise in gospel music, Leandria felt called to start her own ministry. She named it IPC Ministries, Imperfect People Changing. Just the name was different from most churches and made people feel like they didn't need to be perfect to belong. She wanted a place where everyone could feel welcome, no matter their past mistakes or struggles. It was about growing, learning, and embracing the ups and downs of life, not about trying to be flawless. On June 16, 2013, IPC Ministries held its first service in Atlanta. But it wasn't like other church services. Leandria brought her own style, focusing on people who had been through hard times. She could relate to their struggles because she had faced challenges herself, including a period when she was homeless. Through IPC Ministries, Leandria reached out to those who needed help without judging them or asking them to be something they were not. One of her biggest projects was the New Year's Eve concert she held with IPC Ministries in 2014. It was more than just a night of singing and worship. It also provided food, clothes, and basic necessities to the homeless in Atlanta. This event was a big success and inspired her to create iProgress, an outreach program that gave out food, clothing, and Bibles every month to people who needed them. Leandria and her team often handed these essentials out near homeless shelters, showing her commitment to helping not only spiritually, but physically. Now, many people also feel that Leandria has an unconventional approach to her ministry. From the start, her methods caught a lot of attention. She isn't afraid to step outside the church walls to reach people who might never walk into a church on their own. In many ways, her boldness to connect with those lost in life's struggles is commendable. She is reaching people who may have given up on church or feel they don't belong there. We could definitely use more people willing to go out and meet others where they are. However, some parts of Leandria's methods have raised eyebrows. For instance, she sometimes hands out condoms and cigarettes to people she meets on the streets, hoping this will help her build trust with prostitutes and drug addicts. While some folks understand her desire to make a connection, others find this approach difficult to accept. During an interview, a source disclosed that from a faith perspective, these actions seem to go against what we are taught about Christ's power to heal and restore. Jesus reached people without compromising values or giving into actions that could harm others. He healed, raised, cleansed, and fed people without needing to adopt their behaviors. This is where I feel Leandria's approach is problematic, says the source. Her actions shocked the Christian community. A pastor also commented on it during an interview. He said, "While I can see her desire to be honest, I feel she may have missed the mark here. As a pastor, her role is not just to be real with people, but to point them towards Christ. Her job is to show that through her faith, she's been transformed by God's love and guidance. People look to leaders in faith for inspiration and for examples of how faith can change lives. Being open about one's struggles is valuable, but the focus should still be on Christ's power to heal and guide, not on the weaknesses that pull us away from that."
It's because people allowed you to suffer in silence. They have allowed you, supported you, encouraged you, expected you to keep your mouth shut unless it was a benefit to them. I ain't on that committee.
He continued, "If Leandria's recent behavior in the video is a glimpse of how she leads her congregation, then there could be serious consequences. Her role as a pastor is to uplift and encourage others to follow Christ's teachings. By displaying actions that may not reflect a positive path, she risks confusing her followers. For non-believers who might watch her videos, they might misunderstand what being a person of faith is about. Faith is about showing growth, transformation, and hope. Leandria explained that she wasn't trying to support these habits, but rather create a safe way to connect with people. Her goal was to share her own story, make faith relatable, and offer support without judgment. Some people she met through these methods even started attending church, grateful for her open and honest way of connecting with them. And then recently, Leandria has faced backlash from the public. People have been talking about a video she posted online where she can be seen cursing and drinking. She titled it "Drunk in Love" and purposefully shared it on social media for all to see. When people criticized her actions, she defended herself, saying she just wanted to be real with her fans. She argued that showing her struggles, like cursing and drinking, proves that she's not fake, that she's just as flawed as everyone else. She wanted to show that no one is perfect and that we all make mistakes.
I was drunk when I met him. I was drunk when I married him. And I was drunk when I left him. That just didn't work.
AndriaJohnson recently shared big news with her fans. She is divorced again. In her recent social media post, Johnson shared her feelings with her fans, saying, "This woman right here is not perfect. This woman right here has and will make mistakes. This woman right here is now divorced. Yeah, you heard it." Johnson has faced many ups and downs in her life, and she isn't afraid to talk about them. AndriaJohnson's first marriage was a difficult experience. She got married when she was just 20 years old, and looking back, she feels she was too young to understand what marriage truly meant. She shared in a 2018 interview that at the time she was still a baby and only knew what she had seen from her parents and grandparents. Johnson's father didn't want her to marry her first husband, but she did anyway. In her words, it was just all wrong. After the marriage ended, she promised herself that she wouldn't get married again.
20 years old when I first got married. Still a baby. I just got my ears pierced. What are you talking about?
But life doesn't always go the way we plan. Johnson's second marriage also didn't work out. She admitted that she met her second husband while she was under the influence of alcohol, and the relationship didn't start off in a healthy way. She even said that she was drunk when they met, drunk when they married, and drunk when they split up. This marriage was also short-lived, and Johnson said it just didn't work. In 2014, Johnson surprised fans by introducing her then-husband, Forrest Walker, in an interview with James Ross. She called them gospel's new power couple, and they celebrated 1 year of marriage together. However, Johnson's latest announcement has left fans unsure if this recent divorce is from Walker or another relationship. It's unclear if she's referring to her separation from another ex-husband, Michael Underwood, which reportedly happened in August. Another incident, people started spreading rumors when she performed at a gospel show while visibly pregnant. She later confirmed she was pregnant with her fourth child, and for the first time, this child was out of wedlock. Despite the negative attention, Johnson continued to perform and minister through her pregnancy. She didn't let the judgment stop her from doing what she loves.
I see if I got on here, got on live, and was saying something that wasn't the truth. I was speaking the truth, and I'm going to continue speaking it.
Leandria's relationship with the gospel community hit a breaking point during a Facebook Live session, where she openly shared her frustrations about the gospel industry. Her language was strong and full of expletives, surprising many of her fans and other gospel artists. This moment, filled with anger and honesty, quickly caused a backlash, and Leandria lost a major performance spot at the Essence Festival. But for her, this was about more than just one show. She was tired of feeling trapped in the expectations of the gospel world. During her live stream, Leandria explained that she wanted to break free from the traditional image of a gospel singer. She believed she had the talent to be as successful as big names like Kirk Franklin, Mary, or even Beyonce. But to reach that level, she felt pressured to act a certain way, which didn't sit well with her. She made it clear that she was done with trying to fit into the church's strict rules and expectations. She wouldn't change her personality or stop being herself, cuss words and all, just to fit in. Her honesty didn't go over well with everyone. Soon after, organizers of the Essence Festival, where she was scheduled to perform a tribute to gospel legend Dottie Peoples, decided to cancel her spot. They felt her comments, especially those criticizing the church, went too far. But instead of apologizing, Leandria stood her ground. She posted another video saying she was just exercising her right to free speech. She also mentioned that she felt the church's rules and politics were too harsh, not just for her, but for others who feel pushed aside by its traditional ways. In her video, she even spoke about feeling disrespected by fellow gospel artist Marvin Winans. She said he ignored her in a way that made her feel like she was beneath him. This only added to her anger and disappointment with the church's hierarchy. But despite all the backlash, Leandria later posted an apology. She clarified that her harsh words were directed at the politics in the church, not the church itself or Christianity. She admitted that her use of curse words may have upset some of her fans, especially those who attend church regularly, and she expressed regret for her strong language. Still, she held firm that her criticism of the church's structure and politics was valid. However, the controversies didn't end there. In 2024, she found herself in trouble again, but this time for different reasons. During a performance at Radio 1 Raleigh's Women's Empowerment event, her dress and stage behavior drew a lot of attention. As always, her singing was powerful and moving, but her choice of outfit and her security's behavior became the main focus for many fans. Leandria wore a blue dress that some conservative fans found too revealing. When a video of her performance hit the internet, many people on social media commented that her dress showed too much skin, which they felt was inappropriate for a gospel singer. For some fans, who are used to gospel singers dressing modestly, her outfit was a shock. The conversation quickly became less about her singing and more about whether she should have dressed differently. One person on Instagram even suggested she needed a stylist, showing the split between fans who wanted her to keep a traditional image and those who liked her bold style. But it wasn't just about her dressing, it was also the way her bodyguard acted very aggressively towards fans who tried to get close to her. This made people feel uneasy at what was supposed to be a joyful event. Some fans felt that her security was too rough, creating a tense atmosphere. This raised questions about Leandria's relationship with her fans and how she sees herself as a public figure. Johnson's journey reminds us that we are all human, and life doesn't always go as planned. Her strength lies in her ability to keep moving forward, no matter what others think. In 2011, she released her first EP, The Awakening of AndriaJohnson. This project marked the beginning of her career as a successful gospel singer. One of the songs on the album, Jesus, became a big hit, drawing even more attention to her talent. The song won her a Grammy Award for Best Gospel Contemporary Christian Music Performance, showing just how far she had come.